Hey guys, welcome back. Let's finish up our stairs from the first and the ground floor. Let's switch to our top view and let's draw some 2D lines first. And before I forget, let's switch on our first floor plan so we know where to draw our stairs. These two stairs on the top, they're quite easy. They're simple rectangles, so let's draw them also using a rectangle. Make sure your project option is turned on, so we draw on the same plane. Now let's copy this rectangle over to the bottom and let's simply drag the control points to the correct size. So hit F10 to turn on the control points. Let's use a command called set points. The set point command is really handy because it flattens the points according to the X, Y or Z axis. So the command is called set points. And we want to move them in the Y direction. So let's only switch on the Y direction and press OK. Now as you see, if I move my mouse, all the points, they got nicely flattened in the Y, and I can simply just select the edge of the stair, and my rectangle got nicely sized to the right shape. Now let's switch to our perspective view and let's move the stair in 3D. Let's temporarily turn off our first floor to draw a little bit more clear. So we can simply move the control points to the right height. I'm going to use again the set point command to show you guys how powerful this command is. It's really helpful. Only this time we want to move all the points in the Z direction. So simply switch on the Z direction. And of course turn off our project. And as you can see, you can easily snap to the first floor and the points are moved nicely in the vertical direction. Great, so the only thing missing is turning them into a solid. So simply select them and type in the command planar surface. So let's also make them solid by selecting them both and executing the command offset surface. So the distance is set to 0.5, that's okay. Only the direction is set upwards, so we just need to flip them. And with the object still selected, let's also move them in the 3D stair layer. Alright, let's move to the final one, the final two stairs, which are located here. So let's move to the top view because we're going to draw first some 2D lines. For these two stairs, let's also turn on our second floor. Let's also turn on our picture frame again from the first floor. Alright, let's make our stair layer from the first floor our current one. Let's start drawing. So the stair is basically a simple rectangle with a landing in the middle. So first let's set up a simple line to find the middle of the stair. Before I start drawing, let's turn our project option so we draw on the same plane. Now make sure you have your mid snap on and simply draw another line from the middle to the wall. Hold shift to draw orthogonal, and if you hold shift, you automatically find the int intersection. Now let's select that line and offset it to both sides with 1 meter, because we're going to assume the landing is more or less 2 meters wide. So the distance is already set to 1, so that's nice. Just simply also select the both sides option, so it offsets to both sides. Now to finish up, let's draw 3 rectangles. The one from the stairs and the one from the landing in the middle. So you can hit enter to repeat the last command. Let's delete the lines we're not going to be using anymore. Alright, let's move to the 3D view and let's move those rectangles to the right height. Let's also turn off the picture frame temporarily, so it's a little bit more easy to draw. So let's select the rectangles and let's move them to the right height, which is going to be from the first to the second floor. So let's use the move command, and this time let's use the vertical option set to yes, so we nicely can move them in the vertical direction. Okay, so now we need to find the position for the landing, and by doing that, let's draw an extra reference curve to find the middle. So let's select the landing and let's move it to the middle of that line we just drew. We can use the same trick as before. We can use the move command with the vertical option set to yes. So make sure you have the right intersection, because sometimes I snap to the wrong one and then you see your line disappear. So finally, let's also move the final part of the stair to the right height. So let's turn on the control points from the 2 stairs and move them also to the right height. So hit F11 to turn off our control points. Let's select our lines and make them solid. So let's join these surfaces together first. And the cool thing is that the offset surface command also works on poly surfaces, so that's nice. Okay, cool. So let's move this shape we just drew to the 3D layer and to the stair layer. And let's use this same shape for the one from the ground floor to the first floor, the one that's on the side. So let's simply go to the top view. Let's copy this object to the other side. Make sure your project button is on so you copy in the same plane. And also let's rotate it to the right location. So the only problem is we need to scale it, or we need to flip it, let's say, because it's pointing up and we need it to point downwards, of course. So there's a handy trick to do that using the gumball. You simply select the object, turn on our gumball if it's not already turned on, and you just click on the blue handle, which is to scale it only in the Z direction, non-uniform, and press in -1. This will basically mirror it. So now the only thing we need to do again is to move it to the correct position. As you can see, it's a little short of touching the ground, so we need to scale it a little bit more. Let's use the scale 1D for this. So for the origin point, we're going to use the top. And next up, we're going to use a reference point. So let's switch to our front view. Let's hold Shift and use your smart track to snap to the bottom of the stair. So now you can see that the stair nicely is going to be scaled, but only in the Z direction. So now we can simply snap to here more or less. Let's switch back to perspective to see how it turned out. Now you can see the stair got nicely scaled to the bottom. The only thing, if you're going to be perfectionist, you'll notice that the stair has a little bit space left on the left side. So we can use the scale 1D again, but this time in a different way. So let's choose our base point on the right side of the stair. The next one on the left side of the stair, and then finally towards the width we want to have. So those were the stairs. Next chapter we're finally going to jump into modeling the facade. We're going to begin by setting up some reference curve, and from there onwards we're going to model a course mesh. Please stick around.